Hit that button, and we're going to get started. Good evening, everyone. My name is Loretta Koth, and I'm a National Marketing Director with the Juice Plus Company, and I welcome you to Change Your Story, Change Your Life. You know, if anybody knows me, they know that I am all about change your story, because I think that too many people have accepted and settled for a life that is filled with exhaustion, inflammation, stomach issues, allergies, autoimmune disorders, the fear of cancer, and all kinds of other health issues. People don't feel good, and it doesn't have to be the case. So we're here tonight. 4 of us have stepped up and become vulnerable and said, you know what, we'll get on this live Zoom call and we're going to share our stories. We're going to tell you how we were one way at one point, but we transformed into new people with our health, but also the mission of what we're on with Juice Plus. I'm a National Marketing Director for the company, and I'm just excited to be here tonight to be able to share what this has done for us. And I'm going to go ahead and start. I was introduced to Juice Plus, my goodness, 15 and a half years ago now. This was at a time when you would have found me a very tired mommy, 3 kids, 5, 6, and 14, struggling to get nutrition in them, struggling to keep up with nutrition for myself. I bought the juicer. I was taking live enzymes and flora and all these things that I was reading about. I knew we did not get enough fruits and vegetables. I knew that was an answer, but I didn't know how to accomplish it in my family. I myself was, had packed on some pounds. I wasn't feeling good. My energy wasn't good. And I was really grateful when a girl introduced me to Juice Plus. When I figured out that it was just juicing made easy and affordable, that I could pack my body with a lot of fruits and vegetables and have this healthy little shake that was my breakfast or my fast food on the go, it made sense to me. I added Juice Plus to my diet and the diet of all 3 of my kids, and I have never looked back. I've never missed a day of taking Juice Plus my entire life, by the way. First of all, I had restored energy, better sleep. I had better mental clarity. I went through 10 straight Cleveland, Ohio winters without being sick at all, and I was a person who got at least a cold or major flu every winter. I watched my skin change. I lost 10 pounds. I got in the best shape of my life before I turned 40 years old. It's 15 years later. I've never been to the doctors for anything sickness related. Now in my middle 50s, and knowing that, wow, this is the way that I want to slow down aging, prevent disease, to continue to feel good. For my kids, my son Cameron was able to heal he started to have allergy problems at about 5 or 6. Black rings under his eyes, sneezing all the time, sick with upper respiratory infections once the allergies hit. I couldn't let him go in a house where there were cats. If there was mold anywhere, he would be a disaster. Eyes swollen shut. So I constantly had him on allergy medication. Borderline asthma. He was 14 when we got Juice Plus, and it took a year, but I watched my son heal completely. It started with the black rings going away. It started with him, not needing to do shots or the medication. And within a year, we never looked back. He's going to be 30 in July. He's never been back on a medication for allergies ever again. And he's never been sick where he had to be on medication again. And that's huge. My middle child, Kristen, was a big part of my life ministry as I adopted her at birth. She was born of a teenage mommy who ate nothing but junk food through her pregnancy. So I'm also here tonight that if any of you listening touch the lives of moms who are going to be procreating, if you know people that, have young kids, this is why I do what I do, is to share this message that we need to teach and help our kids get healthy. And my little Kristen, I brought her home when she was 72 hours old. So, when it happened to her was a lot more, genetics and in utero, bad eating. This teenage mommy ate nothing but junk food for 9 months. And Kristen ended up with ADHD, rosacea, eczema, sleep disorder, couldn't go to the bathroom, had a texture issue, hated fruits and vegetables, and I was desperately seeking an answer for this. And Juice Plus was a difference maker. I feel like sometimes it was wrapped up with a big red bow because I watched everything change. First of all, she started to eliminate every day. You know, as a certified wellness coach, if you're not pooping, it's a problem, okay? And I saw what that did. It started to make her alkaline. You also need an alkaline body. Fat can't burn in an acidic body. Cancer grows in an acidic body. You need to get to alkalinity. And I watched that happen because of Juice Plus. Her rosacea and her eczema completely healed and cleared. And then the greatest part is she started to ask me for apples and strawberries, and then it was broccoli and asparagus, and her diet expanded. Her palate changed. She's now a high-functioning senior at Ohio State University, and I'm just here to tell you that for me, this is something that, you know, I will share for the rest of my life, but also take for the rest of my life. And I want to introduce the next person who's going to share tonight. I was privileged to go into a dental office and share Juice Plus and nutrition with several hygienists, dental assistants, and a dentist. And Cindy Farnham was in the room. And Cindy, I would just love for you to share, you know, what was your experience from that day forward?
Okay. Thank you, Loretta. I'm really, excited to be able to tell my story tonight because it might be a story that sounds similar to many others that are out there. And I think what I love most about sharing Juice Plus is being able to give others just hope and positive energy. And the thing that you did, that's what you did for me that day. You know, little did you know that I was sitting there listening to you and that I was very concerned about my health. I had very low energy. I wasn't sleeping well. I had a little bit of depression. I had gained weight. No matter what I did, I couldn't lose that weight. I was exercising 6 to 8 hours a week and it just wasn't coming off. But more importantly, my blood pressure had gone through the roof at 195 over 101. And I ended up in a cardiologist's office. And, and I kept saying to the doctor, something's wrong with me. I don't know what it is. And they said, no, your blood work is fine. You're fine. And then when I was talking to the cardiologist, he said, well, I don't know what to tell you. It must be genetic. He put me on 20 milligrams of lisinopril and HCTZ. And he said, your blood vessels are constricting. They're going to continue to constrict, and there is nothing that you can do. He said, I will be putting you on more blood pressure medication as time goes on. That's the way it works. And I said, I don't want to take medication. He said, well, I'm sorry. I've never taken anybody off a blood pressure that high before. And I remember leaving his office, and I was just so worried because I knew that I didn't want to go down the same roads that my parents did. My mother passed away 21 years ago of cancer. My dad has also had cancer. He's type 2 diabetic with high blood pressure and cholesterol issues. And they were taking a number of medications in their 30s. And here I was starting to go on the roads of getting on the medications. And so little did I realize what a difference, and that you were going to be answering the prayers that I had for my health. And the one thing that you said to me was too much sugar and not great nutrition equals inflammation. Inflammation equals sickness and disease. As a healthcare professional, that's exactly what I needed to hear. I was having too much sugar and I was having not enough fruits and vegetables. And not one of my doctors ever asked me about how many fruits and vegetables I was eating per day. So seeing that just Juice Plus is just, powdered produce, that made sense to me. So I started taking the Juice Plus. Within 3 weeks, my energy level started picking up. Soon after, I started sleeping better. I started falling asleep right away. I stopped waking up as many times, and then the longer I took it, I wasn't waking up at all. I was getting this really deep sleep, which was giving me more energy. Now my body I was starting to lose weight. It was starting to come off because of the nutrition helping my metabolism, and the depression went away, which was great. I had kind of made an appointment for a doctor to talk about that, and I didn't have to make my appointment. But most importantly, I was able to go back into that cardiologist's office 8 months later. And at this point, I'd cut my medications down to 5 milligrams. And, they took my blood pressure. It was 128/86. And I loved the cardiologist's reaction, because I said to him, do I have to take this medication anymore? And he threw his head back 3 times. He said, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. What did you do? I said, I flooded my body with fruits and vegetables. It made sense to me. And I remember leaving his office now this time and so excited because I was off the medications. I've never looked back. My blood pressure now is 117/78 with no medications. And I'm just feeling so much better, much more energy. And and also was looking for something for breakfast. The only thing that I knew at that point was Raisin Bran and skim milk. And I was hungry. An hour later, I was so tired. Now I take the complete shake every morning. I don't worry about not getting a nutritious breakfast. It's absolutely amazing. And now I'm not hungry. I just have better energy. I feel better and things as well. But, the other real main concern for me was my son. He was in college at the time. He was an athlete playing soccer, and he developed mono, and he was sick for 1 straight month. And now I know it's because he really wasn't eating any fruits and vegetables at all. And I put him on a good vitamin because that's all I knew, but I was very concerned about fibromyalgia down the road, that coming back, him being sick in the future. Well, we got him on the Juice Plus, and he's been out of college for 3 years. He works 50 to 70 hours a week in a management program, and he's never sick. It's amazing. He has good energy, and he would not miss a day of Juice Plus because he knows what it's like not to feel well, and he feels so much better. The other people that I was worried about in my life were my dad and my stepmother. My father has lost 55 pounds in the last year. He's 79 years old. My stepmother has lost 35 pounds. Now my dad has diabetes. His blood sugar, his A1C levels have come from 10.5 to 5.5. They're talking about taking him off of insulin at 79 years old. And my stepmother, who has lupus, couldn't go out in the sun anymore. She was starting to develop terrible rashes and was concerned because she wasn't going to get to see her granddaughter play soccer. She can now go back out in the sun. They don't get sick like they used to. She doesn't develop those terrible rashes. And I don't wake up anymore with that sick feeling in my stomach worrying about them because I know that they're protected. And that's one of the greatest gifts that I've received of all.
And Cindy, you were going to introduce Mandy for us.
Okay, and because I share Juice Plus, I had the opportunity to help Mandy out with her family, and that has just been a huge gift to me, and she has just an amazing story. So Mandy, we're just happy to have you tell that story to all of us. She's muted.
Does she know she's muted?
Sorry, I had muted so I wouldn't have kids being in the background. So I'll start over. My oldest son was born with a condition called prune belly syndrome, which is a condition where the child is born with very low muscle tone in the abdominal area. So sometimes no abdomen, no abdominal muscles, and sometimes some. So he has a little bit, but he then has a heart condition and lung issues due to the low muscle tone. So he has been in the hospital many times, pneumonia, RSV, PICU stays, just regular floor stays. He's 9 years old, and he's been in the hospital many, many times. So we, last year in the spring, we had gone through another bout of pneumonia. We had been in the hospital for 11 days, came home with oxygen. They were tired of having us in the hospital, I think, so they sent us home with oxygen, and he didn't go back to school for a full day the rest of the school year from March, maybe like late March on. So this year in December, he ended up with another bout of pneumonia. We were on the 4th round of antibiotics, 2nd steroid, and he just wasn't kicking it. So I was talking to the doctor. I was considering going to a immunologist, and she said, definitely not. You'll end up on more pharmaceuticals, and you don't want to do that. And she mentioned Juice Plus. So I went on the website, typed in Juice Plus just to see what would come up, and it had the Children's Health Study. So I put my name in, and Cindy called me. So it kind of came about without knowing anyone that had used it before. basically Cindy was telling me all about it, and I said, that's fine, I'm going to buy it. Like, it's no problem, because I have to find something to do for him. And we had tried to juice. I was the only one drinking it because no one would drink it. So this was a great way for me to do what I was trying to do without, forcing them to drink a green juice that they weren't going to drink. So, when we got it, we noticed within a short time that his energy went up significantly. He is, I guess you could say, over many years, very sick. And so energy was always real low. And he had a really hard time getting off the oxygen. If we had started oxygen, we had a really hard time getting off. So he has not missed school the rest of this school year. We're finishing up in 2 weeks here. He actually had pneumonia again. I don't expect this to be something that necessarily stops him from ever getting sick. I hope that happens, but I haven't expected that yet. He's fought off 2 colds on his own, and he had pneumonia and only needed 1 round of antibiotics and had full energy the entire time. He was running around with his brothers and everything. So it's been a huge change for him. For myself, since it was the Children's Health Study, we had 1 adult order that we got originally. And so I started taking it. Within about 3 weeks, I didn't really think anything of it. And in about 3 weeks, I noticed that I would come home from school. I work full time and have 4 kids, and I would come home from school and I still had energy to play with them. And I was like, that's weird. And then about 2 days later, I thought, you know what? That might be that Juice Plus. I don't know. And sure enough, I have had so much energy. I'm now getting up in the morning at 4 o'clock, working out, going to school all day, coming home and playing with the kids until, well, I keep them up too late, probably 9 o'clock. And then we, do it all over again the next day. And I have so much energy. Started taking the Complete because I was looking for something that would be a shake, and love it. I have noticed great things with that. I take it, use it every morning as my breakfast and before I go work out, and love it. So it has been a transforming story for us. Since then, we have added everyone in our family onto it. It was kind of a trial study with the 2 of us, and now everybody takes it. I don't buy vitamins anymore. I've always been skeptical of vitamins anyway, and have just thrown this in, and it's been great for all of us. So that's our story.
Wow. Oh my gosh, Mandy, I don't get tired of hearing that story, because that is profound. And I hope that we've got people listening, and this is going to be recorded, and, can you imagine the lives that could be blessed because they heard what you are willing to share. So this is incredible to me. And our next story is going to be equally profound, because this was a dad who was pretty freaked out about where his kids were at health-wise. And he was at a tough point in his life in every way. And he was at a crossroads. And that crossroads brought him to a major transformation. Mike?
Yeah, so some of you know the story, some of you don't. Over a 3-year period of time, my son, he had been on over 30 different prescriptions. So most of the time he was having to do breathing treatments with albuterol, prednisone. He would end up in the hospital just because his oxygen levels would be way down, and he'd be on antibiotics a lot. So constantly having digestive issues, respiratory issues, and really always on prescriptions. So, constantly going to the doctor. We went to many different specialists and just wasn't really finding any solutions, I guess. We just kept going through this vicious cycle for 3 years. So we started just started doing some research, started trying to just take some different products. And then, a friend recommended me to talk to Sarah Matthews, who, came to an event, talked a little bit about the product. Anthony tried it. He really liked it. So we said, sure, signed up, gave it a try. And within literally 3 weeks, I started to notice changes in his metabolism. He started being more regular. I started noticing that he wasn't really dealing with the sinus congestion and breathing issues. So, and at first you're like, is this really kind of real? Is this just a fluke? I kept just worrying that something was going to trigger him and he would have a, asthmatic fit. But really that was March 15th of 2015. And, I had the pharmacist print out all of his prescriptions because, you look at after we started taking Juice Plus, the kid he was prescribed 1 antibiotic and his tests came back negative for strep. And that was in the fall of 2015. Since then, the kid has not been to the doctor besides every year. He goes once for just a general checkup. So we haven't been going to the doctor. We haven't been on any of the prescriptions. So it was a huge turnaround for him. And, being that he was sick, I was stressed out, for 3 years like that, constantly going to the doctor at least once every 3 months, missing work. The kid would be sick. I'd have to miss maybe a whole week and try to work from home. But I just didn't handle it really well. The stress was getting to me. I was emotionally eating terrible, got caught up in drinking alcohol, just tried to numb out a lot of stuff. And just really my health started to go downhill. My blood pressure was as high as 160/100. I had chronic pain and inflammation, always dealt with back pain. And when I started taking the product, I took it mostly for my son, but I needed it too. I noticed a lot of changes. And for me, after being on Juice Plus, I was eating Advil like candy. I had it everywhere. And I can honestly say that since I've been on Juice Plus for over 2 years, I have not had an Advil. The only time I took Bayer aspirin was when I had strep throat, which I came back from Fort Lauderdale flying, had strep. That was the only time, 3 days I took Bayer. Other than that, I haven't had anything like Advil or over-the-counter medication, prescription meds, anything besides just natural, eating healthier, and taking Juice Plus. And because my inflammation has gone down so much, within like 8 months of being on Juice Plus, I just decided to go sign up and try CrossFit. So it's inspired me to eat healthier, but then it's also because my inflammation is down, I'm actually out there and I want to work out. So for me, I always did it the wrong way. I thought I'd go to the gym, thought I would get in shape. I could still eat the stuff that I was eating. And the thing about Juice Plus, it's just changed my life, and I wear this shirt, I wear the hat, and I say it loud, I say it proud, I say it anywhere I go, because those that know my story and see my son, I'm just so grateful to have the relief and seeing him healthy and seeing myself healthy. So.
Wow. Great job, Mike. Just sharing your heart, sharing everything. And, everybody, just so you know, Mike's been so inspired. He's also, going back to school. He's become a certified lean coach. He is now dedicated in his life to being on this mission. And I kind of want to transition. And just so you know, for all of us, we're just going to spend a minute each, maybe minute and a half, just kind of sharing your heart as to why you said yes to becoming part of the Juice Plus franchise and becoming part of our mission. And just for anybody that's listening or watching tonight, our mission is inspiring healthy living around the world. We are actually a healthy living revolution. We need a revolution, folks. This isn't going to just happen by, I want this to be all out massive action. And we need to have a voice. We need to have a voice about this. And so we know that we want to help people take healthy back. And I've been doing that now for 15 years. I didn't have any intentions of making this a business. For me, it was all about sharing this message. And that journey has led me to a place now of being able to relocate from Cleveland, Ohio to Wilmington, North Carolina, where I live at Carolina Beach. Right out that window is the ocean. It's enabled me to be a work-at-home mom when my 2 girls were in high school. It's enabled me to help to fund my children's college education, which if any of you have kids in college, Mike, it's unbelievable expense. It has enabled me to travel and see the country. I'm hoping it enables me to see the world, because we're in 26 countries and we can help people with Juice Plus in any of those countries. I have a call tomorrow with a girl in Italy. She actually babysat my kids when they were little because she was a foreign exchange student with a friend of mine. So amazing is the fact that this has just been, for me, has turned into a career. So it can be anything for you. And Cindy, maybe you could share as a hygienist, this has opened up a lot of doors and creative choices for you. And we'll just find out what you think about inviting people to our mission. Cindy, are you there?
There, I'll unmute myself. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So yes, when I started to really realize what this was, and I as a hygienist had the opportunity to go over health histories with patients, day in and day out, and looking at all of the medications that so many people are on, it just gave me an opportunity to just help people and just say, hey, there's another way, if you might be interested in just, learning about what I have done. But for me, it's been, a mission. It's been a ministry. It's been such a joy for me. Mandy's story is a perfect example. I can't tell you how many times I get to wake up, turn on Facebook and see some amazing story like Mandy had told on Facebook, where tears just come to my eyes, that I know that I've just been a messenger, and helping to educate others so that they know that there's something like this that's out there that can help their children. And I had the opportunity to be a part of that story. And so for my personal life too, I work for a dentist at 71 years old, and maybe retiring at some point. And and my husband is in the health insurance industry. That has changed so much, with so many new regulations and things like that. And basically I just got to the point where I didn't want my peace of mind to be dictated by somebody else's decision. I wanted to be able to just take control a little bit of my own life and be able to do something that I absolutely love and that I will do for the rest of my life, because I won't ever retire from Juice Plus. It's just because it is a mission for me, and it's something that's just so joyful. So I'm so grateful that this has come into my life and given me so many more options and brought an amazing and a joy that back into my life in every way.
Awesome. And Mandy, maybe you can just, you're very new to
I didn't start this with any plan of necessarily becoming this extra business or extra side thing. I felt like I had plenty of things filling my life, but I don't know how I couldn't tell people about it. It has definitely changed how we look at our health picture. And so it became something that just filled little spaces of life, just communicating with other families, other moms, other kids. And it's just kind of become something that is a really fun avenue to share something that I truly believe in. So
that's fantastic. Thank you. And Mike?
Yeah, so same with me. As I signed up at first, not really knowing. I wanted to experience the product, and after seeing my son's journey and actually feeling the changes myself, how do you not share with everybody else? So I just I started sharing, and like Loretta said, I became a lean health coach because I wanted to learn more about the nutrition. It's not just my son out there. If you look at the statistics, there's so many kids that are dealing with so many different things like asthma and allergies and ADHD, and autism is on the rise. So we need more people out there that's willing to, just share what you found. And that's my mission. I always had a passion for health. I went to school, got my bachelor's of science, but I ended up getting into construction, and I really just started not knowing a lot about nutrition. My health was bad. I was kind of putting that through to my kids. And now that I've learned so much, I just want to share it with other people. And it's very powerful. It's very, just seeing another child or a friend or somebody else kind of go through the changes and see their health improve. It's just powerful. If I was to win the lottery, tomorrow, I would honestly get up and still do what I'm doing because I just love it so much.
Oh my gosh, what a great note to end on. And for all of you that came on board, I'm very proud of us because we've done this in exactly the amount of time we promised. But you know what? I want you to think about, what do you want to change? What in your life do you need to change? Do you need to change bad habits? Do you need to change some health outcomes? Do you need to change your finances? Do you need to change the community that you're in? Do you need to change your attitude? I don't know. What do you need to change? But we are all about changing our stories, and that can help you change your life. So I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to put us back on gallery view. Hold on one second.